Hello everyone! Today we're gonna review this portable monitor from Dopesplay. The box is very simple and there is no art, but it has a handle and you can use it to carry the monitor around. This model is the DR143. In the box you'll get the monitor, a manual, a USB-C to USB-C 3.0 cable, a USB-C to USB-A to power the monitor, and an HDMI to mini HDMI cable. And here's what's in the manual. The monitor comes well protected with a plastic film covering the screen. On this side you have two USB Type-C ports and a mini HDMI. On this other side you have a sliding button to access the menu. You can move it up or down and press it in the center. And here we have a power button and a headphone jack. And in this shot here it may seem like a fingerprint magnet, but it's actually because of the strong lights that I'm using. On the bottom you have two speakers and rubber feet for the stand. It opens like this. And the smaller feet is made of plastic. This monitor cannot stand vertically on its own, but you can open the stand and it will stay at an angle with no problem. The stand can be opened to 90 degrees. And here's how it looks at the max angle. At the minimum angle, it can stay almost vertically, but I wouldn't recommend using it like this, as it can easily fall with the screen facing the floor. To solve this, I 3D printed this stand with these measurements on screen. With this stand, it can stay on the vertical without falling. When you turn on the monitor, the first thing you'll see is that the resolution is 1080p at 60Hz, which is pretty good for a monitor this size. If you tap the slider down, you will access the volume, and then you can move up to raise the volume. And my first impressions is that the image quality is really good. The camera isn't doing justice to what you'll see with naked eyes. The pixels are sharp, the colors are vivid, and the movement is very fluid with no stuttering. and I'm not feeling any input delay. We'll test that in the lag test later. If you tap up, you will access the backlight, and then you can move the slider up or down to adjust the brightness. If you press the slider on the center, you'll open the main menu. And here you have a lot of options. Here you can see all the factory settings. Now let's check what's in each option from the menu. With this panel uniformity option, I didn't see any difference. Under color effect, there is a game option, but it won't reduce lag or anything, it's just to reduce the oversaturated colors of retro games. I'll show the two modes later in the lag test. On the user profile, you can manually change the red, yellow, green, cyan, and magenta. This demo option is perfect to compare the changes you make to the image. One side of the image will be the default, and the other side will have the tweaks that you apply. And I didn't know what PCM is for, but changing this mode will make the picture slightly warmer. And you can change the different aspect ratios too. This is good for playing retro games. If you connect the monitor to a computer and the taskbar is not showing properly, you can turn overscan off to fix it. When you activate overdrive, you can increase the brightness of the screen over the maximum limit. But I think that this can damage the screen in the long run. I suggest you to use only when you really need it. I also didn't know what DDCCI was used for, so here's the definition. The ultra vivid mode is very interesting. Enabling it will raise the sharpness of the image. It's very subtle, but if you pay attention to the fur, you can see the difference. I also researched what this DP option could be used for, but all I could find is DisplayPort, and this monitor don't have DisplayPort, so I have no idea. Leave it in a comment if you know what it's used for. The DP MST option is for enabling the power saving functionality if the monitor is not receiving any signal. The DP option could also be used for the DisplayPort resolution, but again there is no DisplayPorts on this monitor. And I believe that clone mode is for connecting two monitors and displaying the same image on both of them. It will make a nice setup for gaming tournaments, but I don't have two of these monitors, so I can't test it. Then you have some general audio options. You can reset all configurations to the default. On the language, you have only Chinese and English, and the other options is to change the on-screen display. On the lag test, it had the same latency of my TV, which is pretty good. And here's some close-up shots of the screen so you can really see the quality of the image. You can also see how sharp the pixels are in the HUD of the PS5. The picture is so good that in a close-up shot like this, you can tell the difference if this is a 4K TV or the monitor. The sound, however, is a bit quiet. If you're playing in a loud environment, it will be really hard to hear anything. And by the way, this monitor is connected directly to the PS5. It's draining power from the USB ports. And the size of the monitor is just perfect to placing on top on the PS5 like this, and then you have a gaming setup using only one plug for electricity. But how about the Nintendo Switch? With the included USB 3.0 cable, you can dock the Switch directly to the monitor, without the need to use a dock. But keep in mind that the cable must be a 3.0 cable. Any other cable will not be able to pass the video signal. The cable that comes with the package is a 3.0 cable, so you don't have to worry. And I played it for quite a few hours without any problems. And I know you must be worried about breaking your Switch with this monitor, but seriously, I have reviewed two third-party docks in this channel, and I haven't used my original dock ever since. And as you can see, my Switch is still fine after using two third-party docks. I have over 70 hours of Tears of the Kingdom, and I played mostly on my living room, where I used the Kiwi Home dock as the main dock there. But if you're still afraid, you can use it with the original dock and an HDMI cable. And it can also dock your smartphone. Perfect to run RetroArch and play some retro games. Keep in mind that it won't have touch support though. And another great use for this monitor is for having a dual screen setup. And that's it. Overall, I can say that the Dopesplay monitor is pretty dope. It has a low input latency, a great picture quality, and built-in speakers. You can also use a power bank to power the device, and being able to dock a smartphone and a Nintendo Switch just with a USB Type-C cable is a great bonus. and I researched some prices, and at the moment of this video, it is selling around $92. That makes it cheaper than other 40-inch monitors from popular brands like Arzopa and UPerfect. The links are in the description if you want to pick one of these for yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like or a comment. New comments will always pop up in the YouTube Studio dashboard, and I even will see recent comments from my very first video in this channel. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.